Uh,
Hello.
Hello. Well, as you know, I like to interview all the therapists that are listed on the therapy.co so that people get to know each and every one of you. So glad
Yeah.
that you are here, Stephanie, making time for this recording. I'd
Thank
like
you
you
too for having me.
to share with us about yourself. Maybe you can
Yeah.
share with us firstly what got you to become a counselor and
Okay.
yeah, and maybe your professional background as well.
Ah, okay. Um, I think since I was young, I've always been helping my friends through listening and being supporting and encouraging. And I became more interested in people, relationships, and I went on to study psychology in university. And when I started to work, and it wasn't really linked to psychology, but I actually got to know more about mental health issues because I was working with emergency responders like paramedics and firefighters. So I became acquainted with a job nature that helps people with mental health issues, with post-traumatic stress issues. And then that started me to study more about counseling, about peer supporting. And then so I went on to do a master's of counseling and was in the job for almost 9 years. So professionally, I think helping people has been very enriching. So I decided to make it a full-time profession as a counselor. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Can you share with us some of your experience seeing a client?
Yes. I have had experiences working with people who were in crisis or who have mental health issues or who people who just generally feel stuck and don't know what to do. So so I have helped people who are very anxious about their life or they are very stressed but they are not very sure what they could do. So when I'm helping with people like that, I tend to structure our conversations and focus on more important things. And sometimes people think like they know what the problem is, but after going through conversations with professional therapists like ourselves, they realize, hey, oh, maybe my problem is something else. And for me, that is the most interesting when I'm able to add on a new perspective or get people or challenge people a little bit just for them to understand, oh, maybe there could be something else in their lives. Another interesting aspect of helping people is also when people feel very hopeless, they don't know and they feel very helpless, they don't know what they can do for themselves. I think I have been able to help people just hold on to them, encourage them, support them with the training that I've gotten to try to find a way. So I think that's how I've helped people so far, I guess.
Right. So that gives us some ideas about what it may be like working with you. But perhaps let's dive slightly deeper and go
Yeah,
into your approach and your style or your theoretical background, how your
yeah,
practice has been informed. Can you share with
yeah.
us on that?
uh Theoretically, I am trained in cognitive behavioral therapy, but my approach when I'm working with people is very eclectic. So it's very bespoke. So I customize based on usually the values of the people that I work with. So I try to work with in a method that is aligned with what is important to them. So I wouldn't be forcing them, okay, you should use cognitive behavioral therapy for sure, so because my training is quite varied, so I'm able to hold conversations with people to find out what is best for them. And also I think it's very important as well that I work with people to make sure that they find out what they really want to make very informed decisions. So a lot of time we can spend a lot of conversations talking about what matters to them. And when they realize what matters to them, they are able to focus on certain goals and certain plans. And I'm able to coach them along the way to find out the best path that they can move on in a very informed way. So I think that's my style. when working with me.
Right. Yeah. So it's getting even clearer right now about your style. One of the last question I have here is, can you share with the viewer maybe some tips and advice if they would like to seek counseling? How should they prepare themselves before they
Okay.
attend the first session?
Okay. I think the most important thing is to keep an open mind. A lot of times people might be resistant to the idea of seeing a counselor or therapist because they think like they are not sick enough, or they are not doing so bad, you know. But I think it's important to feel like, okay, maybe this person is able to help me, and I'm able to keep an open mind and not think like, okay, this is the only way I like to be helped, but to see whether there are other options. And talking to a professional therapist is actually not talking to a friend, but it is like talking to a friend, because we are compassionate and we are supportive and we are encouraging. But we also professionally will challenge the thinking or the experiences that you've had, so that you are able to figure a way out, which is very different from the advice you have gotten from maybe your friends or your family members or your loved ones. So I think one thing that you can expect is to keep an open mind, and also find someone that you are comfortable with. If you don't like this person's style or don't like this person's face, it's very hard to work together, because therapy is collaborative. So you want to be able to be invested in this professional relationship, and also want to take charge of your life and want to do something about it. I think that is probably the best first step you can take.
Okay, that's really nice. Yeah, actually, I think that is all the questions I have.